MBSR course a few years ago now. I think it was about 3 or 4, kind of losing track. And the approach was very different. It was really helpful, very useful. So that was, I guess, my introduction to really practicing mindfulness. But at times I found it very black and white, quite rigid. So embarking on some of the courses with the Mindfulness Association really helped me because of the compassion element. It softened the edges. I found visiting difficult things very edgy, and being aware of a habit that I have of going into the past, it made it very difficult to do some of the practices. Whilst the practices that I was learning with the Mindfulness Association were really helpful, it was the compassion side that really allowed things to fall into place, and for me to accept even where things were from my internal world. So the approach of the Mindfulness Association I find very helpful, which is reflected in the staff as well, very much so. The way that the courses are delivered, and starting where you are, I think it really does, it softens the blow of, oh, I need to be at a certain level, I need to be at a certain place, I'm not good enough, that little voice that creeps in quite often. There is a sense of everything's okay here. The door's open, you're welcome. And there's definitely a sense of being welcome.
Okay, I mean, I've done what I would call a form of mindfulness for about 4 years. I came across a teacher in Mongolia doing some volunteer work who taught me how to do meditation. So I've been doing, say, 10 minutes meditation each day for probably four or 5 years now. And so, but it was becoming a little bit of a habit. So I had some grounding, but this has taught me different techniques, a deeper understanding. I'm able to bring it into my work. I act as a coach mentor, business mentor. I bring some well-being, holistic approaches to my work. So it kind of makes me more aware of what's going on inside me. And when I'm able to ground and settle that, I'm more present. When I'm more present, I'm able to listen better, full body listening, watching the body, and then people feel really heard. So it's a richer session. It is. It's just a very simple thing of being comfortable in silences. I'm a bit of a chatterbox, so it allows me to turn off my what's going on inside a little bit more, settle it, quieten the weather, and I just think it brings a richness to the work I do, and the feedback's really good. That I've got a very different approach. I know some quite senior people in organisations are exploring some of the things we've done. I've done breathing in a session with a vice president of American Express. It was quite brave, and when he was really stressed. So some simple things that I'm able to, because of the training, have a lot more confidence in bringing some of the techniques into the sessions.
I came to the Mindfulness Association probably just over 2 years ago now, I think 2.5 years maybe, and I'd been doing meditation for a very long time, quite a number of years, and then I'd done some training in mindfulness with other organisations, but I came to the Mindfulness Association with an idea of wanting to deepen my own practice. And the thing I like about what the Mindfulness Association offer is the continuity. So it's not just an 8-week course that you do, which I experienced in some of the other organisations. There was the introductory weekend, and then there was a year of foundation practice, of actually building your own daily practice with support as well online, and support from manuals. So it was very, very, it felt much more in depth, and it felt much more supported than other things that I'd gone into, really. So I found it very helpful. From going for years of what I thought was meditation actually really wasn't meditation in the way that it's been introduced to me through the Mindfulness Association, really. So I did the years practitioner course, and then I went into teaching skills because I was already sharing some relaxation and mindfulness techniques in my local area, and I'd done some teacher training in other areas too. So I went into the teaching skills, which was very enlightening. I learnt quite a lot from both of those weekends, and then I really enjoyed the mindfulness-based living teaching retreat in this January just gone. So from that, I've been now able to share the mindfulness-based living course with people that I come into contact with through my work, and that's been a very good move for me. You know, I think it's something to actually again have that supported grounding background, and the solidifying the practice of that course for myself in order to be able to share it with other people.
When I initially did the foundation course, it was the balance between mindfulness practice and the importance of compassion within that. That's what really sold the Mindfulness Association to me, because compassion was something that I thought was going to be extremely valuable for myself and for others around me. And there was no other courses that I could see at that time that it was almost a condition of of teaching mindfulness. It must come with compassion. And I think on my initial course I had Vin Harrison, he suggested that was the deal, that the Mindfulness Association had agreed that they would teach mindfulness embedded with compassion, and that was the most important thing to me. The mindfulness brought about the awareness, and the compassion really allowed me to be with what was arising, and accept what was coming up, what I was seeing in my mindfulness practice, and that really just gave me a felt sense of warmth, kindness, acceptance, and been able to actually take this journey longer than I think. Without the compassion, I would have probably had stopped my practice at some point, but with that compassion, it's really opened up the heart there.